What's up guys, this is Rise and welcome to another video. I'm going to be taking you through some of my battles in Route 2 Veteran, featuring a signature team that I've used in the past. I've been using it for several seasons. I don't always use it, but I come back to it if I'm in a funk or I'm just like, I don't know what team to use. I use this team. It's Obstagoon, Cresselia, Skarmory. The thought process behind the team is Obstagoon is a nice lead. It's great against most psychic types, other dark types because of its dark typing plus counter. And then you've got two things in the back that are good against fighters, since Obstagoon is so weak against fighters. You also have Cresselia, which I think is a great safe swap. If they're not running a steel type or a Marowak, generally Cresselia is quite the great safe swap. It has Moonblast coverage for dark types, so it can actually force a shield against things like Sableye, for example, sometimes. And yeah, and then Cresselia hopefully lures out a steel type if you swap it, and then Skarmory roams free and back. So that's kind of the thought process behind the team. You see there, I chose not to throw the Moonblast in this first game, if you noticed that, because I wanted to really aggressively farm down this Cresselia with my Skarmory. I knew that Obstagoon was going to have a tough time handling the Altaria, especially since the opponent caught my Moonblast on the opposing Cress. So I'm going to commit to a huge farm down here, and now I know I'll be able to at least get shields or do a lot of damage against the opposing Altaria. So I commit a huge farm down here. I take a lot of damage on my Skarmory. My Skarmory is in the red already. And now I'm seeing what's going to come in, I'm waiting for it. It's a pure water type. It's a Politoed. So Politoed's not going to appreciate these moves coming out. It's a Shadow as well. I go for a Sky Attack and then a Brave Bird. Let's see if he decides to shield here. He lets it go. He just completely lets it go. And now this is going to be two shield Obstagoon versus Altaria. It's going to be really close because I'm going to outpace this Altaria. But its Dragon Breath damage is going to do more than my counter damage, obviously. But look at this. I get to 3 Night Slashes in the same time he gets to 2 Sky Attacks. So I outpace it quite significantly. And I get a boost. We get the boost. And now I'm thinking, oh boy, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Because I think I'm going to get to 2 more Night Slashes before he gets to 2 more Sky Attacks. It would be 50 turns for me to get to 5 Night Slashes. And it would be 45 turns for him to get to 3 Sky Attacks. So it's awfully close. I'm trying to throw off his timing here with the overfarm. Make him think he could Dragon Breath down, and he realizes that I almost had 2 and he was going to lose. So he basically just surrenders by letting his Altaria go. So nice game there, overcoming a tough lead against Altaria. Not a terrible lead. This is a great lead for us. This is what you want to see, Obstagoon into Hypno. We double resist the confusions, and we outpace it. So I'm just going to go straight for the Night Slash, no messing around. I could get a boost, and this will do some nice chip damage. And yeah, I'm going straight for another Night Slash. Nothing too fancy, just going straight for him, because when I'm throwing in between his confusions, so I know there's no way he can switch out. He threw 7 confusions, which is enough for a Focus Blast, I believe, so I shield just in case. And now since he threw a Thunder Punch and baited me, I can safely take this, knowing it's probably just another punch, which it is. Then he aggressive swaps Scrafty, and Scrafty's kind of tough for this team, but luckily we were able to get a shield from the Hypno, so this will be more comfortable for us now. He goes straight for the Foul Play, which does hurt us, but I don't want to shield the first one, because if he Power Up Punch baits us, that's pretty bad, because then the Foul Play will do quite a bit more. So I'm going to shield this one. I know he's likely going to bait. Oh, but he actually didn't bait, so that's great. And now I can overfarm a little bit extra. Moonblast is double super effective against Scrafty's fighting and dark typing, so this should one-shot. It does. I expect Hypno to probably come back. Hypno does come back. I go straight for the Grass Knot. That way I still have a little bit of health in case it's like an Azu or something in back. But I'm expecting an Umbreon, and it is an Umbreon. So I was kind of surprised that he didn't... I was kind of surprised that he didn't come in with Umbreon to commit a farm down, but I guess it makes sense. He didn't want to eat the Moonblast on Umbreon. And you'll see that I stored the energy and swapped out with Cress. Because this is his last Pokemon, I knew I could come in here with Skarmory and absorb some damage and then go for a Brave Bird. So I'm just going straight for this Brave Bird. I was getting close to foul play range. I didn't want to run the risk of a foul play taking me out. Really nice counting from our opponent. He's got a lot of residual energy, so we got to be careful what we do here. So we're thinking we're going to come with Obstagoon, knowing that he's going to take out our Obstagoon, but he's going to have to last resort us to take out our Obstagoon, in which case we should then be able to get to a Moonblast before he gets to a foul play. So we basically just used our Obstagoon as a shield there to absorb some energy, and then we were able to take the win. So that energy that we stored on Cress ended up coming in handy in the end, rather than just letting our Cress go down in that situation. Goon into Abomasnow, a favorable lead for us. Let's see if they switch. They do into a DD. This is probably the wrong play. I stay in to throw a Night Slash, which I don't think is necessary. I think I should just go straight into Cress. But this does make the secondary matchup a little bit better for me. Makes it more comfortable because now there's no way the DD can flip this. You see, a Thunderbolt doesn't do that much. I know a Moonblast doesn't quite KO, so you could argue I probably could have tried to Moonblast and aggressively Psycho Cut down. But a Psycho Cut down is going to be super hard against the Deoxys defense because each Psycho Cut's only going to do 1 damage. So I decided to just overfarm a little bit, play it safe, just going with 2 Grass Nuts. But I think I probably could have Moonblast farmed down based off that damage. It would have been close. And this is going to allow me to get to a Moonblast against the Abomasnow, which is some really nice extra damage I'm going to get off. And I think, if I remember correctly, our opponent tries to aggressively farm us down, and we get to another Moonblast. And my Cresselia's IVs aren't even that great. They're just research IVs. But I get a shield, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to come in with Goon. He swaps into Azu. And we're in a pretty solid position here. But we do have to be careful because Abomasnow is really dangerous with all that energy it has stored. It's got at least 2 Weather Balls. My opponent made it easy on me to not shield that because they didn't bother building up to Hydro Pump. I'm going to have to shield another Ice Beam anyway to preserve health on my Skarm. I go for a Sky Attack here, which I think is debatable. Probably should have just committed to 2 Brave Birds at this point. I'm going to try and CMP tie the Azumarill here. I go for a Brave Bird. As they're getting to their Ice Beam, they decide to let it go. I'm going to make sure I get to this Sky Attack, and now I'm going to switch. So now I know I just need to get to a Night Slash to win. And he's got so much energy, I'm going to let this first one go because I feel like he's more likely to bait right here. He does bait, and now he would need to get to 2 more Weather Balls, which I should be able to get to this Night Slash before he gets to 2 Weather Balls. Oh, never mind. He had 100 energy. He had 100 energy. So he had 2 lined up back to back and was only 1 away from his 3rd. And 1 Air Slash because I swapped out of my Skarmory is able to take him out. So an incredibly close game. Really well played by our opponent, making that game so close despite losing the lead. So I think if I had just swapped Cress immediately into DD, could have been better. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't have got that damage off on Abomasnow. Would have been worse. All right, Dugong. You guys are going to see how good Dugong is right here. So this is like a bad lead, right, for our opponent against the counter user. But you're going to see how OP Dugong can be in this matchup. He shields my first Night Slash, probably afraid of a Cross Chop. And I'm going to let this Icy Wind go. I do outpace the Dugong, but my charge moves aren't very threatening to it. Also notice my timing. I'm timing my charge moves, so I'm only giving him 1 free turn of energy rather than giving him an opportunity to sneak in free moves. My opponent's doing the same. Nice timing on their part. I shield an Icy Wind, and I go for an aggressive counter down here. And I just barely... Look how much work that Dugong did to my Goon. My Goon barely won that matchup in the 1 shield. Granted, my Goon does have pretty bad IVs. But turns out it was really important for us to win Switch. Because Cresselia really struggles against Steel types. Skarmory would resist all of Cresselia's moves. So Switch advantage was actually very crucial here. I make a dumb mistake here. Like, honestly, I don't know what possibly could have been going through my mind to throw the Sky Attack. Because I just, did. I just threw it, I have this energy. I'm going to throw it on a resisted Pokemon. But you'll see, that energy would have been best kept for later. But because this is a pretty comfortable matchup for Cresselia, I'm still in an okay spot. But you see, the Sky Attack damage was completely unnecessary. Because 2 Grass Knots KOs this Stunfisk anyway. I'm going to go for another Grass Knot here. I think he ends up expending his final shield. He does. And my Cress, I know, is like dead weight against the Skarm, so I'm willing to just let my Cress go completely. This Stunfisk is in Mudshot range. Probably a mistake there, because I'm not sure the Skarm could have farmed me down. Yeah, I didn't throw my energy right away, because I knew he might have wanted to catch. But I'm not going to shield, and I didn't expect him to throw the Brave Bird first. So that's why I didn't shield the first one. And I don't want to debuff myself and put myself in a situation where a Sky Attack takes me out. So that's why I'm just going straight Sky Attack here. I'm keeping track of his energy. I know that this is just a Sky Attack, and at this point, I know I win the game. Because I know I live a Sky Attack, and now I know I can safely build up to 2. So our opponent's play there was to commit to the Brave Bird. Because either they win CMP on the Brave Bird, or I have to expend my energy early, and then their Stunfisk potentially gets to a move. So an incredibly close game. Once again, well played by our opponent. They made that very close after losing the lead, Obstagoon into Dugong. So well played by the opponent once again. And we go into our next game. I think my commentary today is a little more like analytical instead of like hype man commentary. I don't know. It's kind of weird to like be hype man commentary doing my own battles, I guess, because then it sounds like I'm like complimenting myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are like me. Like, you don't like doing that. If I win a tournament or something in PvP, I'm typically not posting about it and stuff because I don't want to be like, look at what I did. But I totally understand for people that are. It's totally cool to share your accomplishments as well. If you win a tournament, like, go ahead and promote that. But I don't know, it's just me. I take what Vince Lombardi, you guys know I'm a Wisconsin sports fan, legendary coach of the Packers, Vince Lombardi. He had a lot of famous quotes, but he said, when you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before. For those of you not from the US, in American football, when you score a touchdown, the area you score a touchdown, which is the goal of the game, is called the end zone. So like, he's basically saying, like, when you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before, and I've always found that like to be kind of cool. Like, you win a tournament, like, act like you've been there before rather than go crazy. But okay, so you guys might have been distracted by my commentary, and I know some of you get upset when I go off on tangents during the commentary, but you'll notice I committed both shields with my Obstagoon on the Stunfisk. And the reason why was because he was staying in a negative matchup. He was staying in G-Fisk versus Obstagoon, which immediately tells me he's got 2 Pokemon weak to Obstagoon. So that said, I committed both shields to save health on my Obstagoon. And that way I could then use this Obstagoon against this thing, his second Pokemon weak to Obstagoon in the back. And the reason I swapped Skarmory in that scenario instead of Cresselia, and I make a nice catch here as well on the Cresselia, is because once I got rid of the G-Fisk, I figured it was very unlikely he had a stronger counter to Skarmory. So once I got rid of the G-Fisk, I figured Skarmory was going to be pretty safe to switch. And as soon as I swapped Skarmory and he swapped Sableye, I knew the game was essentially over, because my Obstagoon was going to be able to clean up the Sableye, and I know my Cresselia has a pretty dominant matchup against the Azu. Azu can only hit my Cresselia for neutral damage, and I can hit Azu for super effective Grass Knots, and I'm also going to outpace it. So Cresselia has a pretty comfortable matchup here. The Azu is going to take it out just barely, but I have all this energy stored on my Obstagoon, so we get to see the Gunk Shot land. Hashtag Gunk Shot-One Shot. Obviously, the Azu had already been chipped down, but still a one-shot. And yeah, I think there are more Gunk Shots to come in this video, so be ready. We get a 5-0 in that set. Very nice. And I cut ahead. It jumps us up to 25-48. And we're going straight into the next set. Niantic showing us we have a Regice as the battle starts. Good lead for us. Once again, Obstagoon's pulling a lot of good leads in this stretch. We've had like one bad lead, maybe two bad leads, and a lot of good leads. And our opponent makes a nice catch. Probably shouldn't have thrown that right away. A bit predictable of me. And then this is kind of tricky. But because it's Air Slash, then I can safely swap into my Skarmory. If this was a Snarl Mandibuzz, it can beat Skarmory because it outpaces it to foul plays. But because it's Air Slash, I'm going to resist this damage. The Mandibuzz isn't going to get to moves as quickly. So this should be a pretty comfortable matchup for my Skarmory. The scary thing is the Sableye from our opponent actually has quite a bit of energy. So I'm going to match shields here. I figure as long as I match shields, I should be okay. And he actually makes an aggressive swap. But I know I live this foul play. So I'm just going to tank it and then get off my Sky Attack. And then I can switch. So I'm feeling pretty solid about this. I'm expecting Mandibuzz to come back. It does. I know I'm going to get to another Sky Attack here, so I get it off. And then I'm probably going to switch into Obstagoon. Yep, I switch into Obstagoon. I know I can take probably two Aerial Aces. Aerial Ace is a very weak move, and it's coming from a very tanky Pokemon as well, so it's not going to do a whole lot. He does get to another, unfortunately, but I figure I'm getting rid of the Dark type, so two Dark types, so Cresselia probably has a good matchup against what's in back. I immediately throw my Gunk, acting like he caught it, and boom, we land the Gunk Shot. And now we're in a pretty dominant position. We have our Skarm as a potential sack swap if we need it, and then we just don't shield anything here. We would save one for the Mandibuzz in case it got to a move, but our opponent realizes the game is over. So he surrenders, and we take the win. Going into the next one. Also, if you're watching this video hoping that Rise loses a game, you'll get your time. You'll find your time. I do lose a game in this video. So really dominant, hard counter situation here, but you've got to be really careful against these grass hole teams, because the whole strategy behind this team for the opponent is they want me to take out this Victory Bell so they can get a huge farm from their Bastiodon. So I actually stop attacking, and I'm trying to lure the Victory Bell into doing some more damage, but they stop attacking as well. So eventually, I just take it out, and I'm going to go for these Brave Birds immediately to give this Bastiodon as minimal farm as possible. And also, I'm assuming that there's a Medicham in back. So I give the Bastiodon as little farm as possible. Obviously, I'm going to come in here with Obstagoon. I'm going to take whatever this is, because I know I need to save shields for my Cress against the potential Medicham. And there is the Medicham. I make a really quick swap. I don't think my Obstagoon ate any counter damage. And we're in a pretty good spot. With shields up, I'm going to get to Moonblasts before he gets the Psychics. So pretty good matchup here. I resist everything except for Ice Punch. And the reason I didn't shield that first one was because I figured he was more likely to bait with Power Up Punch to vamp up his attack, which he's doing. So yeah, I actually call the first one. The second one, I think he didn't even build up the Psychic. I think they only could have been Ice Punches at worst, so that's why I didn't commit any shields. And eventually I'm just like, okay, now he goes for the Psychic, which actually chunks quite a bit. I'm expecting him to try and catch, so that's why I didn't throw my energy. And I just swapped into Obstagoon. My Obstagoon is getting quite low, so I am going to throw these Night Slashes. They do more than a counter, right? So might as well throw them. Perfectly farmed down, while the Medicham would have gotten only one counter of farm on my Goon, and that was game over. So our opponent surrenders. So basically that game was as simple as making sure we retained Switch, making sure we shielded correctly with what made sense, and making sure we didn't let the opponent farm us down like they wanted to. So another Deoxys. I switch into Cress here, and I get met by a Stunfisk. So I'm thinking like, okay, this could be okay, because I could potentially farm this down with Goon and then get some Night Slashes off, and then maybe Skarm has a good matchup against whatever's in back. I think I make a mistake. I think shielding here is a mistake. Well, I guess we'll see depending on what's in back. But I think the goal of this should be to come out with energy advantage and not necessarily come out with like switch advantage. Because let's say I do win switch advantage, like what does that really get for me? I get Skarmory on Deoxys. Well, that's not a great matchup for Skarmory either. I'm going to try for an aggressive Psycho Cut down. I'm not going to shield this because I know it's just a Rock Slide. So I'm going to get switch advantage here. But as you see, like, what good does switch advantage do for me? Not a whole lot. I overfarmed a little bit just in case I could get to 2 Grass Knots, but I didn't think I could. So I just go for 1 Moonblast. It would have been close. I might have been able to get to 2 Grass Knots. But now I punch in Skarmory and like, yeah. So I think I misplayed this game. I do correctly shield a Thunderbolt, which is nice. But like, this is not a very good matchup for Skarmory. I'm out of shields. He's going to land a Thunderbolt at some point. I build up to the Brave Bird and go Sky Attack, because then hopefully I can maybe survive and get to another move. Expecting the Thunderbolt to come here. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. Boom. I swap. I didn't think I was going to get to a Sky Attack, so that's why. We are going to land a Gunk Shot here. We are going to land a Gunk Shot here, but Azu's so tanky, it can tank a Gunk Shot. And this will take us out, and then our Skarmory has very little health, so that is going to be a GG's. And if you're wondering why I didn't take out the Azu with a Sky Attack, the DD still was quite healthy, right? So if I took out the Azu, I just get countered down, so that's why I didn't bother throwing the Sky Attack. Searching for our next opponent. But yeah, I don't know if that game was winnable. But I think the only way to win would have been to sacrifice my Cress and then get a big counter down on the Stunfisk and then spam off multiple Night Slashes against DD and then maybe have a shield advantage. So we know for the future. A Drapion. Drapion is kind of tough. Because I think it beats my Goon and it beats my Cress. And he went for a Sludge Bomb. I should have shielded that. I was expecting maybe like an Aqua Tail. But no, he went straight for the Sludge. Very smart. I go for another Night Slash here. I expect him to let it go. He does let it go. So he's... Oh! I wonder if he had like double nuke or something. Or if he just lagged a little bit. Unfortunate if he lagged. I store up a bunch of energy, and then I switch. I didn't want all that energy on my Goon to go to waste. And I eat a Hydro Pump, which is not great. In comes a Jelly, and I'm like, oh, let's go. Because now my decision to store up all that energy on Goon is a good one. Even though I had the move on Skarm, I decided to let it go because I figure Cresselia is my key to victory here. These hexes are triple resisted by Goons. They do almost nothing. He sneaks in a free hex there, which is not ideal. I could have thrown one counter. I get a shield. And this is actually really good because our opponent revealed Ice Beam already on the Skarmory. I know that they're more than likely not running Bubble Beam. Most people run either Bubble Beam Shadow Ball or Ice Beam Shadow Ball. Very few people I've seen run Bubble Beam Ice Beam because then you're pretty much walled against a Azumarill. So we can safely just shield the Shadow Ball because that's going to do the most damage against us. And now we're looking pretty good, but you know, Azu's super tanky and 2 Grass Knots won't quite KO. So this is actually still kind of close because if Azu gets to 2 moves, it could potentially force a shield from us. And then the I tried to catch there, but unsuccessful. We CMP tied. And then the Jelly could potentially be problematic. I store the Grass Knot. I try to catch on my Goon. I let the Goon go down because I didn't want to get hexed down. And now I have the Grass Knot stored. So a very a very extra finish there, a very complex finish. I swapped my Goon to try and catch, but then once I unsuccessfully caught, I just let it go. But anyway, all right, so we led the Goon into a Ferrothorn, which we want to keep that alignment. And after staying in for a while to do some counter damage, I tried to catch the foul play on my Skarmory. Unsuccessfully, once again. Another unsuccessful catch. We've had some great catches this video. We've had some unsuccessful catch attempts. I sneak in an Air Slash there, which is very nice. It's easy to keep track of their energy because we both get to our moves at the same time. Sky Attack is 45 energy, Foul Play is 45 energy, and we're running the same fast move. So easy to keep track of their energy. And then they farm me down here with a Talonflame. And I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to beat this Talonflame? So I throw 2 counters and then throw my Night Slash, because that way I'm only allowing him 1 extra turn. And then, because it was 4 versus 5, I'm allowed to swap on the CMP tie and catch this Flame Charge. And I realized my Cresselia is like completely dead weight. Like, my Cresselia is of no use to me anymore. So this is all on the Goon. I am saving all my shields for Goon. I know that the Talonflame has 50 energy, so it has a Flame Charge stored. And I know this dang Ferrothorn is going to overfarm a bunch and have some energy to threaten my Obstagoon. So I'm just going straight Moonblast, of course. It's not even worth baiting in this situation because there's no way the Ferrothorn would shield. He knows that his Talonflame is the key to his victory. So I'm going to go off another Moonblast, hoping for an attack debuff. I don't get one. He's going for a big farm down and then he throws, so I'm just going to let this go, obviously. I figure if he has Mirror Shot, he'll reveal it there, and he does. And this is, man, I know he might bait me. I shield because a Power Whip does a lot. If I get hit by a Power Whip, I'm just going to get put into Incinerate down range. So I take this. Luckily, it's another bait. And then we sneak in a counter, which is huge. He still has a shield, remember. And here we go for the big brain play. We go straight for the Gunk Shot. A little bit of lag. Straight for the Gunk Shot. We need to land it. Boom, no shield. And we take out the Talonflame. Does the Ferrothorn have a move? It doesn't. And we counter down Obstagoon with the big Gunk Shot with a shield up to take the win. And the reason behind me going straight for the Gunk Shot there was I figured my opponent was most likely thinking, all right, I'll just let the first Night Slash go in case he gets a boost, and that way I can shield the second Night Slash. So to avoid that situation from happening, we go straight for the Gunk Shot, and it barely does enough to put it into counter down range before he got to a Flame Charge. And we take the win. A nice 9-1 there. Yeah, good stuff. I was pretty happy with those battles. I thought there was some really solid gameplay in there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As the video comes to a close, you'll see I end at 2498. This was a few days ago, so I have hit Veteran since then. And I think I'll save hitting Veteran for a few more days from now to post, because we've got some spicy Saturday content coming soon. And I hope you guys enjoy that as well. All right, all that said, thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications if you want to be the person that writes first in the comments. Maybe like Marcos. Marcos had like a huge stretch of videos where he was commenting first. I don't know if his streak will ever be broken, but yeah, Marcos definitely had post notifications on because he was commenting first for an epic streak of videos back in the day. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.